Well, hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a pleasant-ish Sunday Stuff and Things. Some of you have mentioned that you would like to see me do more walk and talk kinds of videos, videos where I'm going out, enjoying a pipe outdoors, maybe going to a park, going to the seaside, things like that, and I thought, that might be a good idea. Unfortunately, today, it's a little smoky. I don't know if you can really get an idea of what you're looking at here, but these are not clouds. This is smoke. It's supposedly sunny right now, but the sun is completely occluded by clouds. The air quality here is very unhealthy. I can taste it right now. I can taste smoke. There's ash in the air. It's not great. For those of you who don't know, I do live in Washington State, Bellingham, Washington to be exact. And even though there aren't any fires in the immediate vicinity, it's definitely pretty smoky around here. There are fires in eastern Washington, fires in Oregon, fires in California, fires in British Columbia, and the prevailing winds and weather systems are bringing everything this way. Kind of sucks. On Thursday, we had a very, very, very strenuous day at work, and it wasn't quite as bad on Thursday as it is right now, but it was still pretty bad. Man, I'm even having shortness of breath at the moment. But at the end of that day, it was such a strenuous day anyway, but I just felt so dead and so drained, and I didn't even really put it together that it was probably because of the smoke. But I just had this horrible headache that I couldn't shake, no energy. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. I don't want to bring everyone down, and obviously, there aren't any fires near here, so compared to the people who actually have had to evacuate, people who have lost homes and all that stuff, I have nothing to complain about. I just can't breathe right now. But I thought I'd just show you. This is what's going on right now. It is a yellow, soupy, smoky haze. But even with that being the case, I thought it might be fun to try to get out to a park, enjoy a pipe, and do our Sunday smoke out of doors. So here we go. A bench. I'm gonna place bets on how long I can get away with sitting here, having a pipe. I guess we shall see. Alright, gang, we made it. We are on a bench. There doesn't seem to be anyone else around at the moment. There was somebody walking a dog a little earlier, but they seem to be sticking to a different side of the park, and hopefully, if I try to have a pipe here, I'm not going to get hassled. We shall see. I do, of course, want to get to your questions and hashtag askstuffandthings at one point. Before we go, I also just like to talk a little bit about what's going on with the channels. I just recorded a video today that is guitar related, and it's pretty cool. Well, I think it's pretty cool, and hopefully you guys will find it interesting as well. It's basically me trying to impart to you a major aha moment I had while trying to learn or trying to get better at playing guitar. I've talked to you before about how, I've kind of played guitar off and on for years, never really buckled down, never really tried to learn theory or things like that. I would just strum chords, play songs, sing along, have a good time. But recently, man, it is hard to breathe. Recently, I had kind of an aha moment, a light bulb went off, a eureka moment, and I really started to delve more into theory. And so that is kind of what this video is going to be about, the video that's going to be posting on Wednesday. Just what that moment was, what it inspired in me, and how I've been trying to follow up with that. So stick around on the channel, pay attention to when things post, because on Wednesday at noon Pacific, that guitar video will be live. Everything is just so weirdly muffled. Noise is really muffled out here. You can see little ash particles floating down. I doubt you can really see that on the screen. But if you breathe deeply, you can taste it. You feel it on your tongue, or you taste it on your tongue. It's kind of annoying. I probably shouldn't be outside right now. But, you know, you guys asked for it, and you got it. And you got it. You've got it because you asked for it. I think it's even affecting my ability to speak. I hope that most of you out there are safe as far as these fires go. It's pretty much all up and down the West Coast. So if any of you have had any issues, maybe you could sound off, let me know what's going on in the comments below. I would appreciate it. Another little bit of news. As you can see, I'm filming on my iPhone right now, or actually you can't see that, but this is the setup I have. I have my iPhone 11 Pro, I've got my Zhune Smooth 4 gimbal for my phone, and that's kind of my little vlogging setup that I have going right now. But as I mentioned last week, I really want to upgrade the camera for this channel. I do have a camcorder quote that I use for doing the main videos when I'm in studio, but it's not amazing, it's not fantastic. I've had it for almost 5 years now, and I kind of made a mistake when I bought it originally. I should have gotten a DSLR, or I guess mirrorless wasn't really a thing then, but a camera that had interchangeable lenses and things like that. And it just kind of limits what I can do as far as video quality. And so I'm really looking at the Canon EOS, I don't know if it's EOS or EOS R6, their brand new mirrorless camera that they just put out. And so we're pushing. We're gonna do the drive for the fancy camera. So I'm encouraging everyone who wants to go to Patreon to support the channel on Patreon, because all that support is going to go towards a new camera. And I also posted something pretty cool on Patreon. We've talked about doing t-shirts in the past, and oh Lord, we talked about doing t-shirts in the past, and I had tried to go through with doing one with a certain company, and then it didn't really work out, and they were also international, and so I thought it might be kind of tricky to do shipping and stuff, and it seemed like it was going to cost more, and it just wasn't going to work out too well, and I sort of shelved that. But then recently I looked into doing merch through Amazon. They have their Amazon merch now, where you can basically just upload a design. It's available for people to purchase on Amazon, and if people have Amazon Prime, it's free shipping. It's also worldwide, so it seemed like that might be the best option in spite of whatever feelings you may have about Amazon as a corporation. It just seemed like it would be convenient. So I'm going through the process of applying to be invited into their merch system, I guess, or merch program, and they say it could take up to 14 days to get a response. So in the meantime, I have done a design on Patreon. So if you are a Patreon supporter, unfortunately, it's kind of expensive, but the way the logistics work out, I've done a Patreon exclusive t-shirt design. I don't have it yet. I'm hoping that they'll send me one soon and I can show you, but you'll be able to see a picture or a rendition of it if you go to Patreon. There's a link to Patreon in the description box below. But just the way it works with the tiers, you have to make it on kind of an expensive tier in order for it to cover the cost of the shirt and the shipping and the distribution and all that stuff. So check it out on Patreon, see if you like the design, and if you can wait, then hopefully within, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, I'm hoping to have a design that's not exclusive to Patreon, that's available for anyone to purchase through Amazon. But we'll see. I'm not sure how long that's going to take. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work out. But if you really want a t-shirt and you want to support the channel and go for that drive for the fancy camera that we're going for right now, you can go to patreon.com/StuffandThingsShow. Thank you. All right, we do have somebody approaching from across the park, so I'm not going to smoke right now. I'm not going to get my pipe out. But I did want to mention the NFL is back again. I wasn't sure that there was going to be a season this year, but it seems like there actually is. The first game went off pretty much without a hitch. The Chiefs and the Seahawks are playing Atlanta, I think. I think it's Atlanta. I haven't been paying that much attention to it because it kind of snuck up onto me. It's kind of snuck up on me. I wasn't really expecting... I wasn't sure that there was going to be a season this year, and so there also wasn't all the preseason stuff and all the lead up to the season that there normally is, so there wasn't like this nice torrent of news that comes out before the season when you can start looking at the roster and looking at the players and everything. But the Seahawks are playing this Sunday. I think it's the early game. Actually, by the time you watch this, the game will probably be over. And I'm just curious, how many of you are going to be watching NFL? Are you excited for NFL? I know that a lot of people are kind of annoyed by some of the politicization of sports recently, and I'm not going to come out one way or the other on that, but I would like to be able to enjoy some NFL games. I would like to have that to sort of look forward to every week. It's nice I don't really follow sports. Football's the only sport that I follow, but it's just kind of nice to have that as a thing. Okay, I think we're almost alone. The last park patron just walked by. It was actually a woman walking her dog wearing a mask. Now typically, if she were alone wearing a mask with no one around her, I might raise my eyebrows about that. But considering the fact that the air is filled with smoke and ash right now, I can sort of understand. Maybe it's a good idea to have a mask to filter out some of that particulate. I maybe should have brought one myself. But we're going to try to light up here. I've got my 1964 Dunhill Root Briar beautiful pipe, a gift from our good friend Gus. And in it, I have some Elizabethan, Old Faithful. And we're going to enjoy some of that while we get into hashtag askstuffandthings. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like it answered on the Sunday Stuff and Things, tweet at SAT Bradley with the hashtag askstuffandthings, and I will do my best to answer your question, just like many people did. Oh, I actually had Eye of Argon here today too, but we'll do that next week. I don't really feel like reading about Grigner when people could come up behind me at any moment and hear something disturbing. All right, so we have several questions from the good people on Patreon and also from Twitter. Let's see here. This probably isn't a great idea with all the smoke that's in the air right now, but let's see what happens. Still tastes good anyway. All right, our first question comes from Craig D. Olson via Patreon. First question, longtime watcher. Thank you, Craig, and thank you for being a supporter on Patreon. Do you ever smoke cigars? I find that summer lends itself to cigars better because I'm inherently lazy, and summer seems to support cigars, while winter smoking seems to lend itself to pipes easier. Am I the only one who feels this way? I kind of think I know what you mean. In the winter, you're bundled up, you're indoors most likely, and so you're more likely to have all the accoutrement of pipes around. So if you're sitting, you can pack your pipe, you can relight, you can kind of take your time with it. If you're outdoors on the go, maybe a cigar would be something that's just easier to grab, cut it, light it, you're off. Speaking of that, I just realized I still have a humidor with several cigars in there, so I might need to grab one and have one on a Sunday Stuff and Things in the near future. I don't know why I did that. In the near future. Next, from Smokin' Bear at Smokin' Bear 2. He requests a British accent.
I say, old chap, I've just received a fine old London-made pipe. It's a Golden Square by John Redman. Curious thing, however, the bowl has a meerschaum lining. Can you suggest some fine English blends that would be suitable for this pipe?
I saw the picture he sent via Twitter, and it was a very cool pipe. That's not a super uncommon thing for older pipes to have a meerschaum lining. I think it's really cool. Some fine English blends that would be suitable for this pipe. Is Artisan Blend still available from Ashton? I haven't had any of that for years, but it's a fine, full English blend with a lot of Kia, and I think it's quite tasty. I don't know if it's still available, because they used to use actual Syrian Latakia as opposed to Cyprian Latakia. So they may have run out. And I haven't been paying enough attention if they still have tins of Artisan Blend to produce or to distribute. But also go ahead and try Peterson Nightcap. It's fantastic as well for a nice full-bodied English blend, and I think it would be a good way to christen your new pipe. Next, from BS Smurf, 1974, or Turf Smurf at BF Smurf 1974. Hi Bradley, will you be playing the new Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity game on SAT Plays this November? It looks pretty good. Also, is there any chance of SAT reads coming back soon? If so, can I recommend the John Silent stories? They're in the public domain and cheap. I guess there's a game that's coming out for Switch, Hyrule Warriors. I've never played that type of game. I guess the genre is called Muso, where you are fighting huge amounts of enemies at once. It's not really like a Zelda game, even though it's set in the Zelda universe. I don't think I'll be playing it, and I guess also in November, Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out, so I'm definitely going to be playing that, and I don't know if there's going to be much room for other games. And many people have mentioned John Silence. I don't know if SAT reads will be coming back or not. We shall see. But I will definitely keep that in mind if it does. Thank you for the question. Next, from Tyler at Tyler Brubaker 20. Hey Bradley, hope you're doing well. I am, thank you. Thank you very much. I've just been wondering if you plan on getting Ghosts of Tsushima and possibly playing it on SAT Plays. Another video game question. Ghosts of Tsushima came out within the last couple months on PlayStation 4, exclusive to PlayStation 4 by Sucker Punch, I believe, the game developer. And it looks like a really cool kind of open-world exploration-based game in which you are a samurai fighting off the Mongol invasion of Japan way back in the day. I already have some issues with some of the historical inaccuracies that I've seen. I see people with katanas, which they did not have back then. Also, some of the arms and armor look a little bit too advanced. They look like Edo period as opposed to that era that they're supposed to take place. But in spite of that, I may read it, or I may play it. We shall see. There are far more people out and about in this park than I thought there would be, considering what's going on outside right now. The fact that we're in some sort of crazy nuclear fallout. Well, not nuclear, but smoky fallout, and you can't really breathe, but people are running around with their dogs. Anyway, I guess dogs, you gotta take them for a walk, go to the park. Anyway, that's it for questions on this week's hashtag #AskStuffandThings. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like it answered on the Sunday Stuff and Things, tweet at SAT Bradley with the hashtag #AskStuffandThings, and I will do my best to answer you. And now it's time for the best part of the show. That's when we thank our Patreon supporters. The people who support the channels at $25 or more a month get a special shout out every week because I like to show them how much I appreciate them. People like Ryan McFadin, MDoftheNorth, Kirk Crompton, Private Eye, Glenn, Cody Striegler, David Gaudreau, Gus, and Jason Buckner. Thank you all so much for being $25 supporters on Patreon. And now for the Maniacs, the crazy people who support the channels at $100 a month. People like Peter Straub, whom I just heard from. He is recovering from some very major medical stuff, and I'm really glad to have heard from him and glad that he's doing okay. I hope to be able to talk to you soon, Peter. And Bob Magee. Thank you so much, Bob. And gang, I think that's probably going to be it for this Sunday Stuff and Things. I wanted to get out of the house. I wanted to show you what's going on around here. Obviously, we're very lucky here. Even though there are fires blazing in Washington, in Oregon, and in California, there are none that are here, none that are close. We are getting the smoke. It's not very fun, but it could be a lot worse. And for anyone else who out there who's affected by the actual fires, by the evacuations, all of that stuff, I just hope the best for you. I hope you're doing okay. And I hope things improve. It looks like we may get some rain on the West Coast, hopefully this coming week. Temperatures are supposed to fall a little bit. So yeah, fingers crossed that this all gets better soon. But until next time, until we meet again, thank you so much for watching. I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.